This week on Checkpoint.
I'm crying now. Sir, do you really want to have sex with me? So why are you doing this? I was like, no, you're not young, let's do this.
A known serial sex offender seems to be getting away with preying on female university students. He's worked at UCT, Rhodes, and most recently Fort Hare, where he resigned before he could be dismissed for sexual harassment.
He touched my body, he kissed me on my boobs and everywhere.
This is Checkpoint, and I'm Ngepile Mabuse. He doesn't stay in a job for more than 2 years, and it seems many of his employers have never really bothered to find out why. In October last year, he resigned from Fort Hare University after an internal inquiry found him guilty of forcing a student to perform a sexual act on him in exchange for marks. Ironically, he's a law lecturer, and two of his alleged victims, law students, who've been left traumatized by their ordeals, but determined to fight for justice. Because he's accused of a sexual crime, by law, the lecturer cannot be named until he pleads in court. That's if he's ever brought to book. It's an institution steeped in history. Walking around its Alice campus in the Eastern Cape feels like treading on sacred ground. The iconic individuals who once attended this 102-year-old university shaped the history of this continent. These days, the once mighty Fort Hare often finds itself in the news for unflattering reasons. In October 2018, a lecturer left its premises prematurely after having been found guilty of forcing a student to perform a sexual act in exchange for marks. 2% to be exact.
So it was during the course of the study break, which we are given by the university for about 2 weeks to prepare for the exams. And I found out that my DP was 38. So I was...
That's your year mark, basically?
Yes, my year mark, and of which we are required to have 40%. And
to write the exams.
To write the exams.
The 39-year-old law lecturer had just joined the university, and this was his subject. Phagama asked him to reassess her tests and assignments.
So as he was reassessing the scripts, he told me that he kept on saying, "You owe me." And I was like, you owe me, do I owe you money? What do you mean I owe you? Well, like, sir, I don't understand. And he kept on laughing, "You owe me, you owe me." So he decided to give me that 2%. He gave me 40%.
He offered to take her back to Res in his car, and she accepted.
The first thing that I noticed that was odd is the route that he took. So as he took the Church Street route, I started asking, "Sir, are we still going to my residence?" And he was like, "Yes, this is the route." After we passed Frey Hospital, the traffic circle of Frey Hospital, he starts saying that I used to have sex with the Rhodes students in order for them to get DPs to qualify for exams. Rhodes people, kids there, they are afraid of being excluded from the university, so they do about anything. So I'm like, "Oh, sir, it's sad, but I'm on my period." I start saying, like, "You're on your period, we can fix that. There's a shower, so you being on period, it means nothing." He drives off to his house.
Is it night time now?
No, it's still during the day, around about 3. As soon as we enter his house, he starts undressing himself. After he undressed himself, he went to the kids' bedroom and said, I don't mess in my own bedroom, so I will use the kids' bedroom." So I'm still standing in the lounge, like, come. So I follow him. He's undressed himself, he becomes naked, he puts on a condom, and he's like, yes, let's do this, then the sooner the better. So I start noticing that I've started bleeding heavily and my pants are wet of blood. So I'm crying now, sir, do you really want to have sex with me? So why are you doing this? It's like, no, you're not young, let's do this. So I follow him, then I start undressing myself. There's blood all over my thighs. Then he starts becoming scared. He's like, yo, are you scared? What's wrong? And I'm like, yes, I'm scared. What are you doing? I told you I'm on my period. Then he said, if you can't have sex with me, then suck my d. That's how he put it.
And she did, saying it was the only way out of his house.
I stood next to him and I couldn't. After 3 minutes, I was like, no, sir, I can't do this. I tried sucking his and I couldn't. I was like, no, it's not comfortable. I cannot do this. And after 3 seconds, I was like, no, take me back to Rez. Then I stormed out. I started wearing my jeans. I was dressing myself. Yeah, that's what happened. Then I stormed out. He followed me after a couple of seconds. Then he took me back to Rez.
You still went back into his car?
Yes, there was no other way. My phone, my battery had died, and the place that he lives is very far from the main road, and it was still raining. So
you were at his mercy.
So I had to go back to his car, and most of my stuff, my keys, because I lived in a single room, so my keys of my place were at his car. So in his car, we went back to his car and he took me back to Rez.
While Phagama George reported the incident to the student council immediately, it took her 7 months to report it formally to her faculty. She says she needed to identify a lecturer who would be supportive.
Because the other lecturers, they sleep with students and they have relationships with those students. So I spoke to Professor Van Coller, and Professor Van Coller assisted me in drafting an affidavit.
Reporting sexual harassment is not easy. The university has no policy or protocol. The lecturer who helped Phagama draft an affidavit sent it to the dean, deputy dean and head of department in May 2018. For 5 months, nothing happened. After the break, he strikes again.
He wasn't suspended, he wasn't moved to a different course. No one ever answered me like why he was still teaching while the disciplinary process was going on.